Hi, welcome to this tutorial video in which I'll be discussing the universal Turing machine. Now, in the previous tutorial video I've discussed Turing machines and what a Turing machine is, and this is a continuation of that, and I'll be discussing the universal Turing machine. So, as we saw in the last video, a Turing machine can theoretically represent any computation. So, for example, we might have a Turing machine that's able to add together two inputs A and B. Goes into this Turing machine, we'll call it M. It gives you, say, an output C, which is the sum of A and B. And that's all very well, but the problem with this is that a new machine has to be created for every computational operation that you do. This is why Alan Turing had the idea of the universal Turing machine, which was a single Turing machine that could be used for any computation. So here I've got the text of what Turing actually wrote in his 1936 paper on. It says here, it is possible to invent a single machine which can be used to compute any computable sequence. If this machine U is supplied with a tape on the beginning of which is written the standard description of an action table of some computing machine M, then U will compute the same sequence as M. What Turing is basically saying here is that this universal Turing machine that he's got here, U, so U is our universal Turing machine. What Turing's saying is that the universal Turing machine interprets the standard description of M, which is our non-universal Turing machine. It's just our normal Turing machine. So on the start of the tape, it's got it interprets what M would do, and then the description of M is written at the beginning of the tape that is fed into U, and it's followed by some data. We have our tape here, and this is the tape that's going to be fed into the universal Turing machine. It's going to have at the start of the tape here, a description of what our normal Turing machine would do. That's our standard description there. And then it's going to have some data. What the universal Turing machine does is it reads the description, and then if it was this Turing machine that we were referring to, it would add together two numbers. The universal Turing machine is considered by some computer scientists to be the fundamental breakthrough which led to the stored program computer. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this tutorial video then. Just to briefly recap, we've got this Turing machine here, which is a normal Turing machine, and then our universal Turing machine is going to read a description of what this Turing machine does, and then do the same thing on the data that is behind the description on the tape. And this therefore means that the universal Turing machine can act as though it was any Turing machine, and because any Turing machine, you can conceive of a Turing machine to compute any computable sequence, the universal Turing machine can compute any commutable sequence, since it can model any Turing machine. Okay, so I hope you found this tutorial useful. Thanks for watching.